Hey, what's up, viewers? It's June here. In May 2024, we took an epic trip to London and Croatia. Now, it's time to share my amazing journey to Dubrovnik, Croatia. Renting a car was a great idea. It was super easy and straightforward. After picking up the car, we drove to our hotel to check in and drop off our stuff. The view from the hotel was breathtaking. Our first impression of Dubrovnik was simply beautiful. The iconic orange rooftops, the mesmerizing sea and mountains, and the incredible Venetian-influenced architecture left us speechless. The street runs about 300 meters through the old town, which is the heart of the city, surrounded by the walls of Dubrovnik. It's amazing to think that this main street has been around since the 13th century. Our first stop was the Jesuit Stairs, where the infamous Walk of Shame scene from Season 5 of Game of Thrones was filmed. It was pretty cool to see the stairs in person, and of course, we spotted a kitty. There were already quite a lot of tourists, but it wasn't too crowded. Dubrovnik gets pretty busy in June, July, and August, so we were glad to be there in May. For dinner, we went to Graska Kavana Arsenal restaurant. This huge restaurant has dedicated spaces for a lounge, bar, and outdoor sitting for dinner and drinks. The whole experience was memorable. The octopus was tasty, and the oysters were savory and delicious. By the way, I noticed that oysters in Croatia tend to be flatter. The seafood stew was a small portion, but very flavorful and fresh. The veal dish we had was excellent. But what really added to the experience was the view. It was peaceful and stunning. And yes, there was a cute kitty that caught a lot of people's attention. We finished the dinner and strolled down the main street. We found a charming place to enjoy a drink with some live piano music. The night in Dubrovnik was beautiful, with all the lights and reflections. The night was young, and Dubrovnik was glowing. On day 2, we started with a fantastic breakfast in front of the stunning Adriatic Sea. The sky was blue, the water was crystal clear, and the breeze was so fresh, it felt like time was moving slower. After breakfast, we took a short 10-minute walk to the old town to explore the walls of Dubrovnik. We had purchased the Dubrovnik Pass, which includes the tickets for the walls as well as other attractions. The pass is a great deal since it costs the same as just the tickets for the walls alone. The walls were built in the 15th century to defend against the Ottoman Turks. To get the best experience, visit early in the day to avoid the sun, and don't forget to bring a hat and a bottle of water. The mile-long stroll above the town offers unforgettable views. And of course, we spotted some adorable kitties. These cats looked healthy and well fed. They were definitely not stray kitties.
This is like a kitty.
We visited the Franciscan church and monastery located at the very beginning of the main street. This peaceful place, with its lush plants and stunning architecture, is famous for its world-renowned collection of ancient manuscripts. We returned to the hotel to relax by the waterfront, which is part of the hotel's private beach. The water was so cold, at least to me, but people were still jumping in. Crystal clear emerald color was tempting, but I was not brave enough to dive in. I must admit, it was incredibly relaxing. Before dinner, we drove to the Dubrovnik lookout, also known as Bosanka Viewpoint. You can also get there by cable car, but driving the small, unpaved, curvy road was an adventure itself. The view from the lookout was insanely beautiful. The old town looked tiny, but very well guarded by the walls. The blue ocean sparkled endlessly with sunlight reflections. We stayed there for a while, just soaking in the breathtaking views of the Adriatic Sea and the old town. We drove to this restaurant called Fish Bar El Pulpo, which turned out to be an excellent decision. They don't take reservations, so we arrived early and got a table right away. Their seafood platter was a feast. Lobster, sea bass, octopus, shrimp, calamari, and some delicious vegetables. The sea bass was my favorite, and the shrimp in Croatia are sweet and fresh. It's a must-try. The restaurant is in Lapad, a well-curated area that attracts many visitors. We walked around, met a couple of kitties, and enjoyed the peaceful scenery with people strolling with baby strollers. On the way back, we stopped by Beach Bar Ponet by the water. You can actually sit anywhere in the outdoor setting, making it a perfect spot to visit with friends and loved ones. It was an evening that I didn't want to end. Today was the day that we had been eagerly waiting for. We booked a 6-hour boat trip where we could go anywhere we wanted to around the Elefidi Islands. And despite the weather not allowing us to visit some of the famous spots, like the Blue Cave, we had an excellent time hopping between different islands and having great lunch on the Lopud Island. The sea breeze was invigorating, and when the boat was speeding up, the thrill was unbeatable. Our first stop was the Kolosep Island. This peaceful island was the perfect spot to relax with an Aperol Spritz in hand, taking in the stunning views. It was absolutely thrilling to spot sea urchins nested in the crystal clear water, a mesmerizing sight and a sure sign of pristine, untouched beauty. We docked the boat to swim in the deep blue water.
Oh my gosh!
While May was a bit chilly, I can only imagine how perfect the water would be in July and August. Next, we headed to Lopud Island, which is the most popular destination among all the Elefidi Islands. Famous for its white sand beaches, this charming island also has a small port lined with cute cafes and restaurants. We hiked up to a monastery on the hill, and we were rewarded with an insanely beautiful view. The sun was so bright I couldn't keep my eyes open without sunglasses. Quite the contrast to the rainy forecast that we had expected. After exploring the gardens near the monastery, we made our way to restaurant Dubrovnik for lunch. Sitting outside by the sea on a beautiful May day, we enjoyed a delicious meal of lobster pasta and fresh and tender redfish, delicious shrimp and scallops, and many more. Since we had a late lunch, there weren't a lot of people at the restaurant, so it felt like we had the whole place to ourselves. On our way back, we marveled at the majestic mega cruise ship up close, which literally looked like a floating city. After a quick rest back at the hotel, we had to resume enjoying our last night in Dubrovnik. Our first stop was the Abacus Piano Bar at our hotel, where we got treated to a stunningly beautiful sunset. We then decided to try The Bar in Old Town, highly recommended on Google reviews. It was a fantastic choice. The drinks were creative and delicious, and the bartenders were both professional and kind. My favorite drink was the Life of Pi, made with cognac, orange bitter, passion fruit, grapefruit, lemon juice, and Aperol. It was not overpowering and pleasantly delicious. I had to get my second one. We got hungry, so we stopped by a nearby restaurant. The food was a little bit salty, but still enjoyable. We decided to stop by at the Jesuit Stairs again, which looked even more magnificent under the evening lights. Dubrovnik was nothing short of magical. With its intriguing landmarks, breathtaking nature, great weather, delicious seafood, and kind people, it offered the best views at every turn. Stay tuned for our journey to Split. It promises to be unbelievably epic. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.